In cases of other cults, the Sikhs shifted the blame on the government, but in the case of Yogi Bhajan, the seal of sanction has been authoritatively given, in spite of written warnings and published documents, by the author and Sikh Sangats abroad, by the Jethedars, the dons of the SGPC, hirelings and paid academians, and the Sikh community is in the octopus hold of difficulties created by the leaders without conscience. Sikhism has never been judged by the appearance. It is the spirit of living according to Rihat, moral code of conduct, that matters. Guru Gobind Singh had declared, Rihat Pyarya Mokha Sikh Pyara Nai. It is the Sikh living according to Khalsa code of conduct which is clear to me, and not the Sikh in name and form. Suraj Prakash relates a very interesting story of a hypocritical movement that emerged during the time of Guru Gobind Singh with perfect Khalsa form, but un-Sikh-like living from within. The Hindu Brahmins started keeping their hair and beards and wearing all the 5 Ks, the Khalsa symbols, dressed in white attire, but without being baptized and without even living according to the Sikh Rihat. They went to Sikh homes and demanded tithes as the superior caste of Khalsa. They insulted the Khalsa coming from low castes and asked them to practice all Hindu rites and ceremonies which were prohibited by the commandments of the Sikh gurus and have been recorded in the Rihatnamas. Guru Gobind Singh came to know about it and summoned these cheats for punishment. He warned the Khalsa that the Khalsa should not be judged by mere appearance, but also by his morals, his disciplined living, and his devotion to the ideals of the Khalsa. If you have Sikh appearance, but at heart you are a Brahmin, or you practice religious disciplines which are strictly prohibited, then you are a hypocrite, a cheat, and a charlatan. Merely putting on the Khalsa symbols does not make a person Khalsa. In 3HO, American Sikhs are Khalsa in appearance, but practice Tantric Yoga for spiritual attainment. They are not Khalsa in mind and spirit. Admittedly, what they are practicing is an amalgam of Kundalini Yoga and Sikh Dharma, which have been condemned by the Sikh gurus and mystic saints in Adi Guru Granth, and by Gurdas in his Vars and Kabits. They are doing the same un-Sikh-like things which the Radrasomis, Nirandaris, and Nirankaris and other adversaries of Sikhism are practicing. Yogi Bhajan had the audacity to boast that Guru Gobind Singh could not give a perfect shape to the Khalsa during his lifetime, that the amalgamation of Kundalini Yoga and Sikh Dharma, which he started 260 years after the death of Guru Gobind Singh, is the real and perfect shape of the Khalsa. Wonder of wonders, our Panthic Jethedars, the dons of the SGPC, and some pseudo-scholars and university professors have unashamedly certified Yogi Bhajan's sacrilegious distortions of Sikh doctrines, history, and culture, and derogatory remarks against Guru Gobind Singh deliberately after enjoying pleasure trips to the USA, financed by Yogi Bhajan. I cannot blame these Sikh leaders and scholars for their opprobrious role at this critical period of Sikh history for the sake of money and regaining their lost prospects. As Yogi Bhajan puts it, in this materialistic and pleasure-loving world, these gentlemen have chosen the Sikhi of Malik Bhago and have forgotten the Sikhi of Bhai Lalo, started by Guru Nanak and nourished by his 9 successors. The Sikh divines and martyrs, and is being remembered by the Sikhs in their prayer. And it gives this block quote. The Ardas colon. Remember those men and women of the Khalsa Panth who sacrificed their life for faith and truth, Dharma, who suffered every limb of their body being cut joint by joint, who were broken on the wheels, who were tortured and skinned alive. Remember those great martyrs who were sawn from head to foot alive, who were thrown into the boiling cauldron, who suffered their scalp being dismembered, and remained unshakable in their faith unto the last. Remember those brave Sikh women who suffered untold oppression in Mir Manu's prison, who starved and suffered under forced labor, and saw their little children cut to pieces and flung savagely into their laps. Yet none abandoned their faith, but upheld the dignity of Sikhism unto the last breath. Recollect and think of their immortal achievements, and say, Khalsa Ji, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, wondrous is the Lord. Although Yogi Bhajan had publicly declared in India that he is practicing an amalgam of Kundalini Yoga and Sikh Dharma, yet his hirelings and propagandists are declaring that he is preaching Sikhism in America, and Professor Pritanpal Singh Kapoor has gone a step further by writing an article titled The Man Who Introduced Sikhism to the Americans. If hired scholars and journalists could change and twist truth about Sikhism and rationalize the un-Sikh-like tantric practices of Yogi Bhajan, his distortions of Sikh scriptures and insulting remarks against the Sikh gurus, then the very survival of Sikhism will depend on the perverted writings of such writers and journalists. But in Sikh history there was never a dearth of such people in the past, and shall never be dearth of such charlatans in the future. Many cults like Meenas, Dhirmalayas, Ramrais, Ajit Malays, Niranjanis, Nirankaris, Radha Swamis, Namdaris have tried this but failed. In spite of all the money, power, and the patronage of the political survivors, history has repeatedly proved in the past, and shall prove in this case also, that you can fool some people for some time, but you cannot befool all the people all the time. I sometimes wonder how the American Sikhs could put up with such nonsensical behavior for so long. The more fantastic Yogi Bhajan's lied about Sikh doctrines and history, the more admiration and blind loyalty he received from the Americans. The reason is given by H.L. Mencken when he writes, "The men the American people admire most extravagantly are the most daring liars. The men they detest most violently are those who try to tell the truth." In 1972, Yogi Bhajan approached the author of this book to write 2 books, one on Sikhism and yoga, and the other on Guru Ram Das, and there was an exchange of letters between Yogi Bhajan and the author with tempting offers, which are worth quoting along with the author's personal comments from his diaries, giving us a glimpse of the author's strong conviction. And it says, Yogi Bhajan's tempting offers to Dr. Trilochan Singh, in quotes, "Look, great Trilochan Singh, what the power of Guru is. Through a meek and humble man like me, He has enlightened thousands of beautiful Americans to Satnam. Therefore, I would like you to understand the basic philosophy of God consciousness, and your letter did say it clearly that you would not like to send the manuscript out. You like to get it printed in India. I understand that you have great contacts, and you know all the literary people and all that don't mean anything to you. You are trying to seek the light of God in you, and that is Guru Prasad, and surely by serving the house of the Gurus you will get it. It is perfect for you to feel reluctant to associate with me because you do not know me. And lastly, don't worry how much money you need. If you can serve my guru has given me capacity to buy it. And if through money I can buy it to any extent, I don't care. So feel free to quote your price, but you must understand our need and let us develop it to serve this common cause. Dr. Trilochan Singh's befitting reply. You talk of Guru Nanak teaching without education and knowledge of language, as you claim to be doing, but you ignore the stark fact that there neither Trilochan Singh nor Yogi Bhajan is Nanak, and not even fit to unlace the shoes of the great Guru. We both were neither born like Guru Nanak with a full vision of God, nor have we lived like Guru Nanak even for a single moment of our lives. Mundane creatures like you and me can talk about the great things Guru Nanak did, but it would be downright shameful and hypocrisy to claim the possession of the godly gifts of Guru Nanak and Guru Ram Das. We are human, all too human, and for our spiritual attainments we depend on the crumbs of the great table of Guru Nanak. Yet both you and I should never forget that we have feet of clay, and the moment we imitate the great Guru Nanak and Guru Ram Das, and the moment we claim their superhuman powers and genius, we fall from his grace and deprive ourselves of his love. You seem to measure the grace of Guru Ram Das by the amount of money you have collected in his name, but I measure the grace of Guru Ram Das on a man by the amount of love, affection, decency, culture, trust, and confidence Guru Ram Das inspires. I do not, and I cannot sell my labor to men who boast that they can pay any price for it, provided I submit my work for changes to suit their imperial whims. No, certainly not. Writing is a part of my life, my meditation, my tapasya, and bhakti. I do not allow even an article to be exposed to such an open auction as you propose. My terms with all the publishers are the same. I cannot send my manuscript outside India, but any representative of your organization can come here and read it. He can study it to his full satisfaction. I will arrange the hospitality. Once the manuscript goes to you outside India, 90% chances are that it will be misused. Its material will be misappropriated and the copyright infringed. All my labors will be lost. So I cannot take the risk of sending my manuscript outside India under any circumstances. If in America you are preaching the pure and simple doctrines of Guru Nanak and Guru Ram Das, then you have nothing to fear from my manuscripts. But if you are preaching something else of your own, which is not fundamentally Sikhism, then I am not the writer who would be prepared to write any book for you, no matter how high your offer is. For me, writing and missionary work is not propaganda work. It is the search and dive for pearls of the Guru's wisdom, and one gets what the Guru's grace gives. I do not want to be either your teacher or disciple, and an author's book represents the light he receives from God. He does not, nor does he allow anyone to put into it material which is against his institutional conviction. Lastly, let me make it clear to you that I agreed to write for you on the request of your wife, Mrs. Inderjeet Kaur, and Mr. Bahadur Singh, for the love of the Guru's cause, and not for the sake of your money. Your letter reflects that it is your money which is playing the key role, and you have boasted a good deal of it by saying that you are ready to pay any price, provided I submit the manuscript to be changed to suit the needs of your organization. The great Guru, who provided amply for the publication of 20 books so far, will certainly provide in honorable manner the resources for publication of books proposed by you also, if he wills that I should write them. If you knew that money has never played the part of motivation in my life, anyone who has lived with me even for a month knows it. Money is necessary for me just as my shoes are necessary for my feet. It is nothing more and nothing less. If I were to write for people with money and power, there is no dearth of them in India. So please be sure that your money has no temptation for me. I have seen enough in my life. For things to be done in India, you have to trust someone in India. If you have no trustworthy friend in India, not even your wife, then it is useless to discuss the matter. And that is Doctor's letter from May 19th, 1972. And so next will be Yogi Bhajan's alternate offer. So we'll see what Bhajan has to offer next time.